Hey everybody, DDO players, and we are privileged again to be speaking with some of the fine folks over at BKOM Studios. They are the brains behind the wonderful game Tales from Candlekeep, Tomb of Annihilation. So who is with me today from BKOM? We'll start out with that.
Hello everyone, I'm Fred Trombley. I'm the Vice President Strategic Accounts at BKOM, and I'm
Paul Gadbois, Senior Project Manager on Tales from Candlekeep.
And finally, Sophie, Communications and Marketing Coordinator.
All right. Well, thanks for taking some time out today. I know you guys are busy. You have a lot planned for the game. We'll get to that. But first, I wanted to start. You guys launched October the 11th. So it's been over a month now. So how do you think the launch went? Was it everything you expected it would be, or just what are your thoughts on the launch of the game?
Launch went pretty well. We're super happy with the response from the community. We had to make some little adjustment. Of course, there were some hiccups here and there, mostly about how we were promoting the game. So people, we made some adjustments so people realized that they were buying a port from a board game. And that turned out pretty well afterward. And also, the game was super stable at launch, so that was a big plus.
And it still is.
And it still is. And as soon as people started communicating with us and leaving us some feedback,
right.
So far we did more than like 6 or 7 updates to the game, mostly addressing feedback from our community.
Like one of the first things we did as an example was the crafting system.
Yeah.
Because we had failures options, percentage chances of failing whenever you had the crafting materials. And now it's 100% success chance. And that's something we fixed within the first 2 or 3 days.
Yeah. Yeah. With the response about the way we were handling the crafting system was negative, so we've applied a fix within 2 days to make sure that everybody was happy, and it made sense. So yeah.
I know that was one thing that I really welcomed is how fast you guys did take what the community was saying. You took that into consideration. You looked and it's like, yeah, we could do that. We can tweak it this way. Or maybe, we'll take what you said, but we'll go in a different direction with it and we'll change it this way. Still kind of listen to the community. And you were so fast to do that with, I think, pretty much everything I read that, the community was saying. You guys were right on it and saying, we'll look at that, we'll fix it, we'll change it, which I personally appreciated, and I think the rest of the community appreciated as well.
Awesome.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for that. Yeah, we take our community at heart. These guys are pioneer in our game, and we want to make sure their feedback is getting addressed. The sooner the better. They also have a big wish list, which Sophie takes good care of. And today, maybe before we end this interview, we will provide you with what's coming next.
Yeah, that will be good. We'll get into that in a second. But you recently did make some changes. You did kind of talk about, the crafting system. So what else changed with the game from launch day until now besides crafting? I know there's a big long list of things, but can you just give me some highlights of how you changed the game since launch?
Yeah, mostly one of our most significant update was really about players' feedback. So we've got a lot of feedback concerning making the game, even the digital game, more closer to the physical game. So we got comments about spawning points for ambushes, which are clearly indicated on the board game, but in the digital version, we thought that adding that element of surprise, by not implementing and showing these spawning points was a good thing. But based on the players' feedback, so we're now indicating the spawning points of ambushes. Also, we've made a lot of change concerning everything around the fighting sequence, let's say the combat sequence. So now you can see monsters' armor next to their head. And also we've added hit chances. So each time you're selecting a power from your hero, and then you target an enemy, you get the exact percentage of chance. I don't know if I'm saying that right, to hit that monster. So that's really helpful. Also, we did a lot of course, general bug fixes and improvement.
And while you mentioned the tooltips on top of the monsters, we can also see now the eye for the line of sight, because that's one difference that we have with the actual physical board game. Sometimes there's rocks or trees in the way, so to be sure you don't waste a movement and attack an enemy without knowing if you have line of sight. Now you can just mouse over the tile you wish to move to, and you'll be able to see on top of the monster's head a green eye that's showing that an attack is now possible.
Yeah, that's another improvement we made. And the list is kind of pretty long, but so far so good. Outside of that...
Let's see here.
Yeah, we have a list in front of us.
Yeah. Oh, let's go into this one here.
All right, another list here.
Oh yeah. That's
one major update. We actually added 6 additional languages to the game.
That's right.
So the initial launch was in English only, and then a couple of weeks later we came out with French, German, Portuguese, simplified Chinese, Spanish, and Russian.
Yep. People were asking for the game. That we made the game available in these languages. So, and of course, we're looking for more.
How has the response been from those communities then? Now that they have that in their native language.
So far, so good. To be honest, I think so far our rating have always been in between 83% to 85%, mostly not very positive.
On Steam.
So of course, there are still people that find the game not to their liking, but that always happens to every game. But so far in these different community, especially I would say French and Portuguese, we're getting great feedback from these community.
And I think a lot of it too, that I've read some of the reviews on Steam, and I think a lot of the problems to me is people weren't familiar with the adventure system board games, and I don't think they understood the challenge that was going to await them, because none of the adventure system board games are really easy.
Yeah, you're so right.
Yeah.
Each time we're seeing some of the, there will always be some negative review, but the ones that we're seeing the most are mostly about people buying the game and not getting what they were expecting. If they wanted kind of easy game, you go and dungeon and just hack and slay. That's not the adventure system. The adventure system is not easy.
No.
It's a challenging game, which we like, and lots of people like this game because it's challenging. So of course you need it's slow pace, it's turn based, and then there are lots of challenge. Even positioning of your character is a challenge, making sure you always discover a new tile as best as you can. You can also mitigate the risk, decide when, all right, I might have an encounter, but I'll just suffer it. And also in the digital version, it's easier than the board game. Because
you have the adrenaline system. So
and that's another change we've made. We've at first we were kind of receiving comments about the game is really hard. So we've added when you're playing normal mode, you get 2 extra adrenaline from the start. So which is really helpful, and we also grant you 2 healing potions per character to begin with, and we've even decreased the difficulty for the 3 first mission of the game. So we did our best, but we don't want to alterate too much the game, the rules of the board game, because we think that staying true to that great board game is the way to go. Of course, there's a learning curve, and playing from a digital standpoint is different than playing the tabletop version. So we understand that. So that's why we have that slowly increasing difficulty at the beginning. But so of course, like you said, The game is not easy.
And I mean, you did also talk about expectations, Fred. Some people, make the mistake of seeing, okay, that's a D&D game, and maybe expect something else, like Neverwinter or Baldur's Gate. But this is not like a Neverwinter or Baldur's Gate game. So you have to know that the adventure system, as you were saying, it's a turn-based game, and it's maybe a different rule set than what you're used to.
Yep.
Yeah, and I made sure in the review that I posted in the game, I kind of said that too, because I noticed a lot of people were going into it thinking, oh, this is going to be like an RPG, like a hack and slash dungeon crawler. And it's not, but it's not supposed to be, because that's not, as we said, that's not what the adventure system board games are.
Yeah.
So, but I think people are now starting to realize that. And, I would suggest, go out and go to like your local game store and see if they have maybe demo copies of some of the adventure system games and play it. And you can see what a amazing job you guys did translating the board game into the video game. Because I'm not just saying this because I'm on the call with you guys, but it really, really feels like you're playing the board game on your computer, which I don't know how you guys did it, but you did an awesome job in doing it.
Thank you so much for saying that. That was the main point. That was our goal, and I think we achieved it. And thank you for mentioning it. That's really appreciated.
I'm gonna let you in on a small secret here. Once we actually were in between beta and release candidate. When the actual entire content was there, we're playing like crazy. Everybody on the team. We actually, at a point, put in a screen that said, in this game, warning, you may die a lot. We changed it to, you will die a lot, and then we just, removed it.
Yeah, at some point we were kind of thinking, we might advertise the point.
Just like if you go to the Dark Souls series, everybody knows the game is meant to just, if you're off your guard, you're dead.
Right, exactly.
And that was, we didn't keep that screen on, but I think you'd find it interesting that we did.
Yeah, that's kind of awesome. It's like, look, you're going to die, okay? Just get over it. You're going to die in this game.
Yeah, you're going to die, but you have healing surge.
But you're going to have fun doing it, though.
From the dead.
You guys recently released some DLC and a deluxe edition for the game, which the deluxe edition, if I understand it right, is just all of the DLC bundled together. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, sure. DLCs, the way we were thinking about our new player, always based on the feedback we were receiving from the player, the already established player, but also from the comments and some of the negative comments we're receiving. So we thought that adding some DLC, which would provide you with a kind of easier way to play the game, that would grant you with one specific power and some gold. And so we just wanted to make it, if you want to play it on the easy side, a little, to give you a little help, just buy the premium version, but you'll get also great value for it, like more adrenaline on monster kills, one additional healing surge. So it's all about, if you buy the premium version, you get access to additional permanent bonuses and also great wallpapers. And of course, you know what? We're going to add to these. If you already bought the DLC, you'll find...
Here's a scoop.
Yeah, the scoop's coming. So if you already bought the DLC, we will add to it over time. And the first item that we're going to add is related to that scoop that we might as well reveal. Yep. So we're going to add the 20-sided dice roll in the game to make it even more board game feel. So each time... Thank you. Yeah, this is the number one request we've got.
This is crazy.
So this is so crazy so that we don't have a choice. We're making it. So in the next 2 or 3 weeks, I hope 2 weeks, you'll get the regular dice in the game. So each time you select one of your hero, and your hero will roll the dice. So you'll see your result, your adjustment modifier, and then the EC of your character. That's going to be located on the left side of the screen, just below the action sequences. And you'll see the die roll. We'll make it quick because we don't want to keep the pace of the game quite fast, as fast as we can based on a turn-based game, but we don't want to add more time in between the different phases. But the good news is we're going to add four different 20-sided dice skin, one per character. So you'll have artist skin, dice skin, and Dragon Bait, Ashara, and Birdsong as well. So we'll add that so people who already bought the DLC will get that right away.
And yeah, the DLC, that's the thing with it. They're split into the 4 packs. You do have the Artist Simber, the Asheras, the Birdsong, and Dragon Baits.
Yeah.
And can you tell us the difference between those other than just the names? Is there any major differences?
Oh, yeah. Each of them are unique and provide unique power and
right. So each of the packs
rewards.
are associated with one hero. So say, for example, you would be getting the Arthas Symbol's Explorer pack. Then that gives you the Arthas Symbol wallpaper. And also a legendary dragon longbow. So this longbow is the main secondary weapon for Arthas. So that gives him +5 to his daily powers. And the permanent bonus that's associated with this specific DLC is that you get +1 adrenaline on monster kills. And I think it's worth also mentioning that all those bonuses, the permanent bonuses, can also be checked off in the game in your option setting.
Yeah, that's important to note. If you buy the premium version and you want to play without these added bonuses, you can do it just by simply going to the option panel and uncheck the different boxes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And also, just to continue real fast, Dragon Bait, since Dragon Bait is mostly, the tank in most parties, then the legendary that he's having with his package is associated to that. So he has an armor. So Arthas has a secondary weapon, Dragon Bait has the armor, Ashara, main weapon, and then Birdsong, she has the legendary accessory that gives the party +50% bonus to gold drops. And that's essentially what it is. But inside all of these DLC packages, you also have chests of crafting materials.
And gold,
and gold, of course. So you can buy these DLCs separately or as a bundle.
And those are $2.99 right now. I just looked on Steam.
Yep.
So are the pack of all of them is $11.96 currently. And then if you do not have the game yet, you can get the base game plus all the DLC in the deluxe edition, and that is currently 15% off at $23.75 right now over on Steam.
Yeah, and the base game is currently at regular price at $15.99, but of course you guys know how it works.
Yeah.
Steam winter sales are coming.
That's right. Winter is coming, as they say.
Yeah, winter is coming.
And I know we've talked about the 4 characters that are in the game right now. You have announced, I thought I saw it somewhere, and I went to try to find it before this interview, and I could not find it. But I swear I saw that you announced you were coming out with the 5th character.
Oh,
yeah, and more to be disclosed on this character soon. But so far we've revealed that we're currently working, and we're pretty far in the 5th hero. Which actually is available in the board game. So in the board game, you get 5 euro first. We decided to launch with 4 because of many, budget restriction and, we spent a lot of time and we had to launch at a specific date. So the 5th hero will come in pretty soon, probably in January. His name is Kawasha the Druid. And also the Druid, you guys needs to be aware. That's why we're taking our time and we've not launched with it. Contains lots of new powers and mechanics. You can actually. Can I reveal that? Yes, of course.
Yeah, it's no knowledge.
It's a shapeshift. It's shapeshift. So that was a big deal in terms of design. And so the Druid is gonna add a lot to the current game experience, and you also have a Veggie Pygmy companion. So that's another
oh no way
mechanic So yeah, this guy's super cool. So we can't wait to release it.
And with the introduction of the Druid, we're also introducing the 5-hero gameplay that comes with it, just like you'd expect on the board game.
Yep.
So you're gonna move from 4 characters to 5 characters on the board.
Yeah, you'll be able to play with all 5, of course. And we're also thinking about, but that's still in the talk. But we want to add to the current version of the game, add more quests, which would follow along with having the Druid in the game.
So can you give us any updates on multiplayer mode? I know that's what a lot of people have been asking about, and you guys said you really wanted to get, the single-player experience right, and you're tweaking that. But any updates you can give us on maybe when we might see some multiplayer?
I think first, if we're, we need to be careful. We're still young. We're just a month and a half in. So
right.
Closer to 2 months now. I think we're still finalizing our first player experience. But the next item on the list would be kind of co-op mode before going full multiplayer, if ever we are. So that would be the second step. Second step would be more like a couch co-op gameplay.
Okay.
But again, this is still this is not in the short term for sure.
So we know the 5th character is coming, and we know the digital 20-sided dice is coming. Anything else you got on the horizon that you might want to share or maybe hint about?
Oh, we might hint about something else. We might have a special. We might have. We're thinking about a new tile, a new type of tile to be added to the digital version. That would be, something unique to the digital version, based on special event puzzle-like. But I've said enough.
So that's all we're going to get, huh? So a new special tile at some point.
Yes. But the sooner the better. This is short term.
You guys just have so much cooked up over there, I'm telling you.
Oh, yeah.
I would just love just to be a fly on the wall and just hear all these ideas, and you're like, we can never do that. Well, wait, maybe we could do that.
Oh yeah, what we're trying to do is, the community is, is responsive, so they're asking questions, or they simply we ask them for their feedback, and they gladly do so. But of course we have to select. We cannot do everything at once. So we just did a full review of all the feedback we've received so far. And number one was the 20-sided dice. So we said, let's go. Let's do this. And next, we'll see what's going to be next. But also we need to think about getting our game expanding and also adding a better digital flavor. So we're thinking of adding our own surprises. Like I said, we're thinking about adding some new tiles, which would be different from the board game as well.
So, if I can add, it may sound trivial, but anything we want to add to the game, we always think about the board game fan, the digital game fan, a mix of both. So, like the example, we're releasing the D20 soon, but if somebody doesn't want it, we thought about it. There's the option to not use it. If you want to use it fully, you got that option. If you want it in between, you got that option. So
yeah, you want it automated. You want to roll the dice.
The past 6 weeks, that's what we learned with the release. There's a lot of different kind of players involved in the D&D universe, especially with the adventure system. So just to give you an idea of what we go through with each of the ideas we talk about.
And I guess I never thought about that, but it would be, you have to balance that line between making the video game player happy, for the people that only know, the adventure system from the video game, and then making the board game player happy and kind of balancing in between that. So that would be a very difficult job that I never thought about until right now.
I think that's the main challenge. And to be honest, that's the main challenge. We also need to think about acquiring new players to the adventure system itself. So that's also challenging. So we want to make the game appealing to them as well. So that's all about finding the right balance. So that's why we went with the DLCs to make it so it's a little bit easier. To be honest, it's all about it's easier, but you have the choice to not select these DLC or not. So it's all about your preferences. If you're hardcore tabletop, you probably won't buy the DLC and just go with the core game, and that's all fine with us. But if you want to have a little help, or you feel like you would try a faster gameplay, you just buy the DLC and you're all set, and you get great stuff for it. So, and it was a kind of timing was, there was all of these issues with, everybody was, with Battlefront.
The EA loot boxes,
Yeah, these are not loot boxes. These are not kind of pay to win. These are just help. And it's a single player game, so there's no pay to win there. It's all about how you like your experience. You want a little help.
Your flavor, do you need it or not?
Yeah, that's we just wanted to simplify the life of the player.
Well, and it's great that you give the option, though. Like you said, if you want it, it's there. You can use it. If not, hey, play for lack of a better term, the vanilla game experience.
Yes.
And you might have more of a challenge than, maybe the person that might be, using that DLC that is, just getting a little more help, but not enough you said to make it pay to win.
Yeah, exactly. So that was the intent. So far, the reaction's been good. We got a couple of, negative comments, but not that much, to be honest. I think we've handled that portion pretty well, but I think, the gaming community overall was kind of a little bit, I think these DLC were kind of falling in the bad side, but anyway, I think we're good because so far people are liking the game and provide us with great feedback and great positive feedback. So I think we're good. We've also, if you want to know more about a little more about what we've added Steam cards because we just forgot about adding Steam cards to begin with. Yeah, Steam trading cards. So are now available in the game, and also we've come up with our own game manual. So which is more oriented towards the digital game. So you'll find if you want to have if you're new to the game, at least you have a manual to refer to.
And we can't wait to see what else you guys got cooked up because it sounds like lots of adventure awaits us.
Oh yeah, that's the goal.
Always adding stuff, always making changes. So where can guys and girls want to find out more that's listening to this? If they want more information, where can they go to find more about you guys in the game?
Well, obviously there's the Steam news section on the community hub, the social media, so Facebook, Tales from Candlekeep, and also Twitter, Tales Candlekeep, and we also have our own streaming channels and videos at YouTube and Twitch. You can just look up Tales from Candlekeep there as well.
And it's so great you guys kept that the same on all social medias because it's way easier that way.
Yeah.
At least they were all available. I guess you lucked out there.
Yeah, we've checked before.
All right. Well, thanks so much for taking time out and talking about the game and the changes and what's coming up. And we can't wait to see what awaits us in more Tales from Candlekeep, Tomb of Annihilation.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.